Hello, hello. I am Dan Salem. I am live on the BuzzChomp YouTube channel here to talk the NFL in 2018. Ooh, it's the middle of May. We are edging ever closer to the season. Before we dive too much into the conversation, as I once again try to fix the light because it always looks so dark. I'm going to go live on Facebook. It always looks so dark. Is it really dark? Is it just my screen? I don't know. Hey, how are you? Hi. All right, I'm going to go live on Facebook. And we're live in 3, and 2, and 1. Hello. I'm Dan Salem. Live on Facebook at the Dan Salem. Over on the BuzzChomp YouTube channel. Oh, good. Thank you. I'm live. I'm going to talk the NFL here in 2018. It's the middle of May. We are edging ever closer to the season. BuzzChomp YouTube channel at the Dan Salem on Facebook. Over on Twitter and Instagram at the Dan Salem as well. Follow me on there. Always writing about sports, doing videos about fun TV shows like Westworld. So, as you saw from the preview thumbnail photo, Tom Brady. He's the big news or a news item of the NFL offseason because basically there's not really much going on right now. Des Bryant remains unsigned. People are cutting other players and picking up guys. I'll get into that in a moment. But voluntary mini camps, are underway or getting started. Voluntary, not even mini camp, voluntary training. I don't know how to. Quite a bit, quite a lot watching on Facebook. Thanks. So, Tom Brady skipping. This is really not big deal. He's a veteran. This is voluntary. Veterans don't technically need to show up. But it's Tom Brady, so it's noteworthy. The other thing is that he's gone every year for like the last 7 or 8 seasons. There was a 3-year period where he skipped. I believe it was around the time when he hurt his knee, which perhaps means he's nursing an injury this season that he has not really been disclosed. Just my speculation. But there's video of him running on the beach in the sand, barefoot. Now, I think that training on the beach is excellent, with the caveat that anyone over the age of 35 should not be doing it, especially if you're a professional athlete. The injury risk for training in the sand goes way, way up. It's just too easy to twist and snap your knee, twist and snap your ankle, twist and fall in the sand. Hi, Matt. She says hi back. People are saying hi to you, Maddie, because they can hear you. So, is it smart to train in the sand on the beach? It's fun. This is me healing my, sorry, Facebook can't see my hands going up. It's fun. There's an added element of challenge. It's harder to run in the sand. You get a better workout. You build your muscles better. It's fun. It's an added workout. I'm repeating myself because I can't think of more than 2 things. Can I get Maddie? She will not sit still. But I'll get her to pop in. Hi. Yeah. There you go. The fans wanted to see you. So, Tom Brady's training on the beach. While I think running on the beach is awesome, it's not a good idea for a 40-year-old quarterback. I know. It's a bad idea for a 40-year-old quarterback who wants to play another 2 or 3 years. Basically, I would be upset if any of my favorite players, Tom Brady's not a favorite player, but I like him, was training on the beach. I don't want to know that any of the New York Jets are training on the beach in the sand. Like, they used to do this Pro Bowl event on the beach. They canceled it because somebody or multiple people got knee injuries. Maddie, please stop. So, much like my daughter, I want Tom Brady to stop this nonsense. Stop training on the beach. You are a professional athlete. When you retire, go train on the beach all you want. But you are under contract to a team that expects your services, and you are upping the risk of injury on your workouts immensely simply because you wanted to do it at the beach in the sand. I get it. There's a lot of benefits from sand workouts, but the negatives outweigh them dramatically. Dramatically. And if you do it, keep it to yourself. Stop showing video of it. Yes, you're dragging a parachute. This is fun. There's a lot of wind there. It's probably great. Awesome. Beautiful. Motivational. Bad for your knees. Bad for your ankles. Bad for your career. You've already had a knee injury. One more, your career's over. Why are you doing it on the beach? Wouldn't you hate to have to retire because you burst your knee on the beach in the offseason working out? That would be terrible. You'd rather go out on the field at the very least. So, we don't want any player training on the beach in the sand. We just don't want to. I don't want to see it. I don't want it. It's just like they're not allowed to, like, a lot of them are not allowed to play basketball for the same reasons. You don't go dirt biking. These are high injury activities. I'm not sure that they're allowed to go skiing and snowboarding. High injury risk activities, a lot of money at stake. These are the leaders of the team. Tom Brady's the leader of the Patriots. We don't want to see it. So, what other players fall into the category of, first, we would be like throwing up the red flags if they didn't show up to these voluntary workouts? Now, I believe Le'Veon Bell is skipping. He's in the contract dispute, so there's no surprise there. No one's really throwing up their arms. Odell Beckham Jr. has shown up for the New York Giants. That's a positive. There was a lot of speculation whether he would come or not. I think he skipped. He skipped last year. So like, he throws up red flags for whatever reason when he skips. Especially, I think, if they were in contract negotiations. He's coming off an injury. He's not there. I think he skipped last year before contract negotiations. So, like, players in contract negotiations often skip. Brady's not in that boat, but Odell Beckham would throw up a red flag if he had skipped. New York Giants' Eric Flowers showed up because they were trying to trade him, and there's a lot of speculation that he doesn't even really have a roster spot. What's the point of him anymore? So I think he wants to show his value to the Giants and also to other teams who may be trying to trade for him if New York doesn't want him anymore. So he showed up. That's the opposite situation. It's kind of funny. I gotta say, I'm gonna circle back around on Brady here. I kind of believe that the starting quarterback of the team should be at voluntary workouts. Now, Brady has shown up the majority of the seasons before this one. So, I would assume he'll be there at the voluntary, the non-voluntary, the required, whatever the word is, required ones. But I'd throw up a red flag if Russell Wilson was skipping. I'm not positive if he is or isn't. I'd throw up a red flag if Matt Ryan is skipping. He just signed a big deal. He better be there. What other players? Oh, like Ezekiel Elliott, I'd throw up a red flag if he skips. Like, you need him to be all on board. This is his first full year now after the suspension-filled mess from last year. The Eagles, nobody really throw up a red flag. There's some polarizing players out there that really throw up the flag. And most of them, in my mind, immediately would be quarterbacks, especially quarterbacks on new teams. Like Alex Smith better be there. Case Keenum better be there. Freaking Kirk Cousins better be there. All the rookies are there because they're in the rookie camp. So, like, these veterans that are on new teams, especially the quarterbacks, you better be there. Any veteran on a new team, like Tremaine Johnson with the Jets, should be there. Okay, so I guess that's a rant. It's really like a double standard for some players, and I feel as though Tom Brady has a double standard, but he's earned it. Oh, the Eagles are fed up with the Patriots' arrogance. That's an off-season headline if I've ever heard one. The NBA draft lottery is going live. I don't know who got the biggest ping pong ball. They've decided that yet. The Robinson Cano of the Seattle Mariners got suspended 80 games for drugs of some kind, undisclosed. And the golfer's wife was arrested for attacking his mother. Anyways, this is what happens in the NFL offseason. Okay. Oh, so hold on. Let me talk quickly about subscribe to DLTV on. Okay, I'll look for them. 2 new channels on YouTube for the Facebook audience. Okay, so there's a couple additions. I mean, I'll talk about my New York Jets, who they've added and who they're looking at. Those players, like, there's a couple big names out there too. And then a headline that's caught my attention yesterday. It wasn't today's headline. It was a yesterday headline. Okay, so I'm thinking, dirty keyboard, off, that the Jets signed off of waivers an offensive lineman from the Patriots. Now, this player was drafted in the 3rd round last year, but he's redshirted by all accounts because he was on the non-football injury list for blood clots in his lungs. That's a serious matter. But the Patriots had high hopes for him. He trained with them all last year. He was training with them all the last month, and then they cut him. So this is a great snatch up for the Jets. They need offensive line depth. They need younger players to challenge the veterans they do have on the line because they added some in the offseason. And there's no real – Madeline, it's okay. This was a good pickup for the Jets. There's no real risk here. He's, by all accounts, a rookie. He got drafted in the 3rd round of 2017, but he didn't play because of injury. I don't know if the blood clots are fully healed in his lungs or what his situation is, but they brought him in. He's going to compete and add depth. I like this. They're also looking at one or two other offensive linemen as well because they need depth at the O-line. They didn't draft any O-linemen, and they need depth and competition to really bolster one of the most critical pieces of the offense. So I love this. They did that. Thank you. Now, the other big headline, most people know that the Carolina Panthers are up for sale. I think that the owner was forced to sell them because of racial or sexual allegations that he got charges brought up against them for whatever reason. I think the owner, the NFL and the other 31 owners told the Panthers owner, sell your team, you're out. He got kicked out of the boys club. It's a boys club. I don't think there's any women. He got kicked out of the club. Yes, we should be. I can check. Are we still subscribed? Yes, we should be. I will double check. Subscribe and love to sub back. So sub and sub back. That's what we do. I'll check after the live stream. So the Panthers are for sale. The old owner's out. This is probably for the best. I think he did some, yeah, definitely for the best. Not a good person by all accounts. So, what's the most attention-grabbing thing is a minority owner in the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I don't know how much of the Steelers he owns. He owns less than 50%. But he owns the Steelers less than 50%. And now he's going to own the Panthers fully. I'm envisioning a scenario in which the Panthers play the Steelers in the Super Bowl. And the two teams are playing against each other. Now, I guess it's not a conflict of interest because all of the NFL owners are on the same side. But it seems to me he should be forced to sell his stake in the Steelers. Because, yes, they're not in the same division. They're not even in the same conference. But if and when the situation arose where the Steelers were facing the Panthers, he would want them both to win. Like, I don't see how he could make a rational decision. I guess he would pick in favor of the Panthers because that was his full team. But he's the owner of the Steelers first. And, like, minority owner means less than 50%. I don't know if it's like 5%, 10%, or 45%, 49%. I'm not positive. But he's not going to be an owner of more than one NFL team. That just seems like it shouldn't be allowed. He's going to buy the Panthers for $2.2 billion. I guess that's setting a record for the highest sale of an NFL team. Oh, the Bills were sold for $1.4 million 4 years ago. And most recently, the Houston Rockets sold for $2.2 billion a year ago. So the Panthers of Carolina are worth $2.2 billion. Imagine what the world champion Philadelphia Eagles are worth in a bigger market with a championship trophy for us last season. Imagine what the New York Giants are worth if the Carolina Panthers are worth $2.2 million. Hi. Here, you want some water? So they're going to approve it on May 22nd in Atlanta at the owners' meetings. Ooh, the owners' meetings. Next week we'll have some juicy topics to discuss. Actually, they'll be taking place the day of. We may or may not. Depends on how quickly the news rolls out of the owners' meetings. They need to approve by the NFL the purchase. And they get all 32 owners, including this man himself. Does he not? So they're saying all 32 owners. I guess he's not a majority owner. He won't be the voter for the Steelers. But what if the majority owner of the Steelers can't make the meeting? So then he would ask one of his minority owners to step in and make this vote on, which means this man will be voting whether or not he himself wants himself to be the owner of the Panthers. They need 3/4 majority of 32. It's maybe it's subtle. It's not a big conflict of interest. It just seems like a conflict of interest. This man is worth $11 billion net worth. He's spending 2.2 of that on the Panthers. That's a good chunk, but well worth the investment because we all know the NFL is still going up. You must put up at least 30% of the selling price. That makes sense. What are you eating, Maddie? Phew. So he's a minority owner of the Steelers. But I guess he's been vetted and it's been approved. Based on his picture, he looks like a former crime boss. Pun intended, no offense. Oh, I guess he only owns 5% of the Steelers. But, okay, I'm reading the full story. Full story, full disclosure, reading it for the first time here live, so I didn't see this in advance. He does have to sell that part of the Steelers before he can purchase the Panthers. Okay. Maddie, stop. Please stop. This makes sense to me. I don't see how you could be allowed to own more than one team that could be competing against one another. So he has to sell his 5% share of the Steelers in order to purchase the Panthers. He just set the value of the Panthers at $2.2 billion, which means the Steelers got to be worth at least $3 billion. So then if he takes 5% of that Steelers amount, which is higher, and cashes in on it because he's forced to, then he puts it right into the Panthers sale, which is going to put up 30%. Are you just remembering now?
No, I'm just saying that's genius.
Oh, yeah, right? Genius. Yes, thank you for the compliment. So 30% of the Panthers is not equal to 5% of the Steelers. But it might be 5% of the Steelers might be equal to 10% of the Panthers, which means he's really only got to put up 20% because he's selling his other 5%, which he just valued higher by his own sale purchase price. That's great. So he set the value of his 5% by choosing to purchase the Panthers for a certain value. All works out, all good in the end. Took him a little while to sell that team, but better late than never. Oh, yeah, sexual harassment. That was obviously truth because they forced him to sell. Oh, yeah, and then the racial slurs. Oh, this man, yeah, good. Good riddance. New Panthers owner. Questions. Oh, what do I think the old Panthers owner will do? That's a good question. Good question. So they're getting a new owner because the old owner was forced to sell the team because of sexual harassment and racial slurs. I believe he was charged with sexual harassment. Let me double check. Okay, so he was 81. The old owner of the Panthers was 81 years old. And he made verbal comments about women's appearance, inappropriately touched female employees, and then made advances on them. It's not appropriate for any age. It's much creepier when you're 80. So he forced other female employees to give him foot rubs. Sexual harassment, through and through. They wanted him out. And then there were allegations of racial slurs, which he had to settle with a formal scout. So basically, he's 80, and as lots of old people are, lots of young people too, unfortunately. But he used racial slurs freely, and he harassed women. They kicked him out. Great reasons. One or the other, didn't need to be both, but he got kicked him out. So now they're selling the team to a new owner. No, I don't. He wasn't arrested. He settled the racial slurs with the scout case, so they settled, paid him off. I believe he would have. I'm sure he's a billionaire. He settled all the cases. I have a feeling that every woman that would have charged him with sexual harassment more than willingly took the high settlement. Why go to court when you don't have to if you can get a lot of money out of the deal? It's not like he forced. There was no sex involved, so I think that they were more than willing to settle the cases. They didn't feel violated and didn't want to make a spectacle of it. Either way, he was kicked out of the NFL Owners Club. The new owner's coming in, more or less seems like a fine enough man. This owner, he's 80. I don't think he'll do anything. He's 80 years old. I have a feeling he'll retire. I'd be surprised if he was able to buy another sports team after being forced to sell the Panthers. At least not in this country. Maybe he could buy an international soccer team, football in Europe. But he's 80. I think he'll retire. I think he'll call it quits. Any other questions before I wrap it up for the night? And we'll be back next Tuesday to talk fallout from the NFL owners meetings. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Dan Salem, at the Dan Salem on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Nice and easy, at the Dan Salem. Over on the BuzzChomp YouTube channel, also Pillow Talk TV every Friday with new comedy. Thank you for joining me. I will be live 5 p.m. Pacific time next Tuesday to talk fallout from the NFL owners meetings. Maddie, someone's saying goodbye to you. Maddie's laughing and cheering. Bye, Maddie. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Good night. Peace.